Alright, so today we're going to be doing something a bit interesting. We're going to be doing a lore run in Dishonored, and if my voice sounds different, it's because I'm practicing for something, so I have to do a British accent. Now, I don't know if my British accent sounds good at all, or if it sounds horrible, but that's why this is going on. Anyways, we're going to play Dishonored today. We're going to do a lore run. I'm going to try to play through the game in the most interesting way possible. I'm going to kill a lot of people. I'm going to try to do the hardest of assassinations, so if it's harder to do a lethal method, then that's what I'll do. If it's harder to do a non-lethal method, that's what I'll do. But mainly what I'm going to try to do is cut out some parts, possibly if they're boring, but explain to you guys what I've figured out about the lore and what is interesting to me about Dishonored, and mainly about the story and the characters and what's all going on behind that and what I've figured out. Now, some of you might know this, there's probably going to be a lot of spoilers, so if you don't want to hear spoilers, please shut this video off this instant, because there's going to be spoilers galore. So here we are, starting out again in Wrenhaven River, which is actually important later on. Got some nice visuals up there. And just looking around, just don't really know what to do. This part's a little bit boring.
Lord Corvo has news for the Empress, and we've come a long way.
So, right off the bat, I know that I've been going around. The story is, you know, Corvo, which is our character, has been going around to the different islands to try to find a cure for the plague, raise awareness, and see if they can help us out. Other islands are kind of douchebags, and they don't want to, and they've basically said, no, we're going to blockade you and see what happens and see if you die out. So I'm coming bringing crappy news, but right off the bat we know there's a plague. We know that I was just on a long journey, trying to figure out, you know, what's going on, what are we going to even be able to do to help out, and whatnot, and then, you know, we got some steampunk hydro pumps going on right here. Just a little bit. This part takes forever. And I might just, you know, cut this part out or fast forward it, I'm not sure. Because I can't really say much to you guys, except I really like this world. I really like the whole steampunk atmosphere, just how it, you know, I guess I just like brass and stuff. And I really like how Dishonored decided to do it. But anyway, so here we are. We are finally able to move. And we walk outside to the Royal Palace, or to Dunwell Tower. And here is Emily Caldwin. So right now, she is basically a blank slate. She is tabula rasa.
I'll cover my eyes and you hide.
We know that Corvo has known her. I also think, you know, Corvo's her father, because of a bunch of different things that we'll get into later, but basically we don't know who her father is. The game never specifically says who her father is, it just hints at it. I personally think it's Corvo, because at the very end, if you have the best ending you can get, you know, the outsider, the narrator of that part says, you're much more to her than just, or she knows you're much more to her than just a royal protector. And that could mean a couple different things, but, you know, if you also go along the good ending, she basically writes a picture on you, about you, and says, Daddy. So, you know, it's like, it sounds like it's obvious, but it is, there is some ambiguity there, but everyone thinks that you're sleeping with Empress. So, you know, you're probably her father. So there's your daughter, and here's a bunch of people, and there's Sokolov, who we'll get into later. We may as well just talk about him during his mission. And same with the Lord Regent. So right now, it's having some fun climbing around.
What are you doing?
Interesting thing about that wine, it looks exactly like the wine that you give Sokolov in his mission. Although that's what the High King's Brew, right? That's what it's called. We'll find out later. I actually can't remember off the top of my head. And I failed the mission by jumping on that man's head, which has never happened before. But I guess first death of the game. Anyways, let's just go meet the Empress and see what goes on. But yeah, Emily, very interesting character. We will definitely be seeing more of her as the story goes on and learning more about it, but I really just... You can't get into it yet because we haven't really experienced it, and it just feels wrong to do that. And there's Hiram Burroughs, the Lord Regent, painting if you look at that. Perhaps Sokolov's carrying them somewhere. Anyways. Now let's go see the Empress. After I look at this beautiful man. Anyways. Okay, so let's just keep our ears open.
It's been good traveling with you, Corvo.
So again, you know, we have been traveling.
People, not criminals.
We've gone beyond that question, Your Majesty.
They're my citizens, and we will save them from the plague if we can. All of them.
Very well.
We will not speak of this again.
Mother, Corvo is back.
Thank you, Emily. Leave us, please.
As you wish, Your Majesty.
Alright, so there we have Hiram Burroughs, or soon to be the Lord Regent.
2 days early.
He wants to set up quarantine zones and let people die.
As usual.
The Empress wants to save everyone. And you probably already know this, since you've probably played through the game already. But anyways,
Lord Protector, I know the Empress will
and
be
if you
delighted
keep
to have
asking
you
him
back.
questions like this, he says something very
She
interesting,
still thinks we can help those who have the plague.
being very condescending towards the Empress.
I've heard the other isles won't aid us. Why did I even bother convincing her to send you might ask?
Yes, you might ask. That is a very interesting thing that he says. Why did he convince the Empress to send us? So now we know that our mission abroad was because he requested it. Our mission to go out there, we're the Royal Protector, and try to get aid from these other islands. Well, obviously, he's got something in mind. He's planning something, and he needed me to be gone.
Brings you home to me. What news have
And if you listen to the first part, I came back earlier than I was supposed to. So I'm not supposed to be here right now. I'm still supposed to be out there on the islands trying to get aid. So let's see what happens. I'll give the Empress
I
a
hope
letter.
that one of the other cities had dealt with this before.
And
Knew of some
I mean, I
cure.
guess you guys know what happens, but you know,
At
it
the
makes
breaking
sense if you ask. It's interesting that
Cowards. They're going to
before
complete us.
this
They'll
even
wait to
happens,
see
the
if
game
the
kind of
plague
tells
causes
you
city to a great
what's going to happen if you listen
Are
to
you
what
okay,
the people
Mother?
say, because
You
you know
seem
you're on a mission, you know
Yes,
it's his
don't
fault
worry,
you're on a
darling.
mission,
Mother is fine.
and you know that you got back
Wait,
from the mission
where are the
early,
guards?
and he
Who's
seems
sent
very
them away?
condescending and
Mother,
mean
look.
towards the Empress, so
What are
he's
they doing on the
obviously
rooftop?
got something
What?
planned.
Emily, come here.
You're not supposed to be there, so... And then this happens. So, random assassins, we know they're Dauds. It's hard to say his name. An interesting thing about Daud, because we're going to get into him later, obviously, because he's got so much behind him with the DLCs and everything, but I don't want to quite get into that yet. But if you play through the DLC, and you have a high chaos level,
If you had
this is the
been
exact river
no more.
that
Not again.
his boat will be burning down. And there we have Daud, you know, kills the Empress. He's called the Knife of Dunwall, and a lot more. If you pre-ordered the game, there's a book which you can read on the wiki
Corvo,
that tells you a little bit about him.
find,
It's very
find
interesting.
Emily. Protect her. You're the only one who'll know what to do. Won't you? Corvo.
And just look at
Ward of
look
us
at
all.
Hiram.
Look at what he's done.
You know, he's looking around.
Killed the Empress.
You know, jumps to conclusions. Obvious.
What did
Of
you
course,
do
you know,
with
you
young
find out
Lady
in the
Emily
very next
Traitor?
scene that
Her own bodyguard.
their plan, they basically tell you
I'll
it.
see
But
you beheaded for this, Corvo. Peg him.
anyways. So interesting thing about Daud is on Wrenhaven River, that's where his burning boat, you know, because he dies at the end, because Corvo kills him, as we know. Or spares him. And if you have a high chaos level, he kills you. And that's where your body's burnt, is on this very river that you killed the Empress. And that's just an interesting thing, you know. Because it seems like that's what Daud would have wanted, is to die in the same place where he assassinated the one person that caused him such grief and such regret.
Sign the confession,
Because, you know,
and let me
he
give you the
has
rights to put your
such
spirit
horrible
at
regret
ease.
from this assassination. And here they tell me their whole plan. They think the
That's
Empress
enough for
sucks.
now. Get out.
They're gonna hide Emily away
Give the man
somewhere
some time.
and
Think,
take over. Basically their plan.
Corvo.
See if it works out.
The Empress is dead. Her daughter Emily is hidden away, and no one will ever know the truth.
Yes, unlucky you. Tomorrow you'll be executed. But it's for
And
the
I'm
good
going to be
cause.
executed.
We
Fantastic.
need strong leadership now. Someone to guide the weak.
It'd be
That's
funny if
where
that's
we-
actually what happened, if you just got executed
There
and
was nothing personal.
then took control of a different
Even
person.
though you almost sank our plans. But it turned out well. You were in the wrong place at the right time.
Anyways, guys, I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit because there isn't
Goodbye.
really much that happens except that they, you know, tell you their plan.